Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today's Awesome Admin webinar.
My name is Leanne Templeman. I'm an admin evangelist with Salesforce.com, and I'm focused on all things admin. I'm joined today by the super knowledgeable data quality expert, Jim Hopkins, who is a senior product marketing manager focused on data.com. Hi, Jim, and thanks for joining us today.
Hi, Leanne. Thanks for having me. I'm excited.
So first up, it wouldn't be a Salesforce webinar if we didn't begin with our forward-looking statement. We love sharing our excitement about Salesforce technologies, but we ask that you make all purchasing decisions regarding Salesforce based only on those technologies available today, not on any potential roadmap or future releases we may discuss. And while we love sharing our excitement about Salesforce with you, our admin community, we also want to hear from you. Find us on Twitter at AwesomeAdmin. Remember, there's no I in admin. Also, when you're sharing your stories, questions, or anything admin, use the hashtag AwesomeAdmin to connect with the community. Like us on Facebook at Salesforce Admins to see all our updates about webinars, blog posts, and podcasts, and check out our recordings, including webinars like this one, at Salesforce Admins. This webinar is being recorded, so if you have to jump off or if you want to share it with your admin friends, it will be posted to the same URL where you registered originally. Questions do come up, and we want to hear yours. So please join the admin webinar group in the Salesforce Success community. We have a bit.ly included here to make it easy to locate. And ask your questions throughout the course of the webinar. We will have team members and product experts on hand to answer questions throughout this webinar in that chatter group. And at the end of the webinar, we will answer some of those in our live Q&A. If we don't get to your question in the live Q&A or during the webinar, have no fear. We'll be reviewing all questions after the webinar to ensure everything is answered. So what are we talking about today? Data quality, of course. What are data quality challenges and who's experiencing them? What are some things admins are doing to manage data quality today? And how can you improve your account data with Lightning? Data quality is a problem that many organizations face, and there are specific challenges tied to data quality issues. And if you're facing data quality issues, you're not alone. 87% of companies have reported bad data flowing into their systems. This bad data can result in an average loss of revenue for the company of 12%. This is really impactful to the bottom line of your organization. And where you, admins, may be feeling the pain the most of this bad data is a loss of productivity. Up to 20% loss of productivity can be tied to bad data. That's a whole day a week of efficiency loss due to data quality issues. So, do you have bad data issues? Some of the ways this surfaces often for admins are issues with reporting and analytics. Often admins are responsible for reports and dashboards and ensuring the organization has those analytics on hand. If your reports aren't lining up, if your filters aren't working properly, if you have to spend a lot of time manually scrubbing reports or adding lots of wonky custom filters to make them work, this is often caused by dirty data in your org, making those reports unreliable. And as admins, we love to automate our business processes. Process Builder, Workflow, Formula Fields, Validation Rules, these are tools that help us automate parts of our business in Salesforce to minimize manual processes. But with unreliable information in those fields you're referencing, sometimes your automation won't work. Or you may have found that you reach a roadblock with how much you can automate because reports with bad data or records with bad data have to be updated or processed manually. So this can all result in an increased load on admins of manual work. Records that can't be updated with Process Builder have to be updated manually. Reports have to be scrubbed. Records have to be double-checked. And as admins, we're always working to increase user adoption, which is directly tied to user trust. So when the reports aren't working properly, when your end users can't trust the data in Salesforce, it can impact trust, which in turn impacts user adoption. So unfortunately, we've all probably experienced some of those challenges to some degree, but how do we improve them? What are the steps we can take as admins to develop a data management plan, clean up our data, and make sure our apps are trusted by our end users? First, we identify the issues. I was part of an org cleanup project with my previous company, Kaiser Permanente, and the first thing we had to do was identify where the bad data was, where it was coming from. We had inconsistent naming conventions for our provider locations and clinic locations, and this was because we had so many employees entering those records and updating them. So then we had to create a plan. We determined what the source of truth would be for those names. We decided to track them in a new custom object along with all other clinic details, and this would be owned entirely by the admin. So once we had our plan, we had to clean the existing bad data. This was definitely the least fun part of that project, but in order to move forward with our new clean data plan, we had to manually scrub all of the existing records, so we were starting with a clean slate. We also wanted to remove some of the contributing factors to bad data, which was wide user access. So we reviewed which users should be able to update certain fields, lock down those fields that would now be updated from our custom object source of truth. This helped us remove the potential for future data corruption from users. But since we'd removed access for certain fields, we also built out additional automation to ensure our end users still had the data they needed. So using formula fields and workflow, we made sure that all the relevant good data was still available for users, and we even added additional data they had needed but didn't have access to previously. So because we had made all these changes, it was really important that we updated and trained our end users. So we used a combination of in-office training, email updates, and help text on these new fields to let users know how to engage with data in their Salesforce. So this is how admins can manage an overall org data plan across all your objects, but the account object is often the most important set of data for a company. And Jim's going to share with you how to use Lightning to manage that account data for your organization.
Great, thanks, Leanne. And those are some great tips for overall data quality. It's a similar kind of set of recommendations that we recommend for data governance and stewardship pretty often. But account data, especially for B2B companies, is really paramount and really kind of the foundation of your business in a lot of ways. If you need some reminding or some convincing of that, we sort of listed out a few business processes that really depend on account data, and especially in B2B companies. If you think about how marketing is approaching the market, how they're segmenting and preparing for campaigns, they use account data and firmographics or company attributes to really create those segments and be able to attack the market in little chunks and little campaigns. Sales territories are being built based on those details. Lead management is often done based on industries or company size. Sales forecasting is often done based on firmographics. Opportunity management, then when you hand it over to finance and billing, and even customer service relies on a lot of these company details to be able to do their job correctly. So it's really crucial that you get your account data in shape so that you can have a lot of these stakeholder departments, a lot of these users doing their best work and using the system to the best of its capabilities. So I'm going to show you 3 ways that data.com has created tools and features that can help you improve your account data. There's a couple awesome free tools that are available and work in Lightning, and another tool that I'm going to mention that data.com sells as an add-on product. But these tools are great for helping you assess data, getting rid of dupes, and then enriching accounts. And you might be wondering why we have the car imagery here. We often talk about data, and account data in particular, as the fuel for your CRM and the fuel for your business. So when it comes to assessing the data, you're really kind of checking the oil, making sure all the levels are right, maybe looking at the dashboard to see if there's any check engine lights on, right? And then when you're getting rid of dupes, you're kind of cleaning out the system of some of that bad data, like you're cleaning oil. And then enriching accounts is really hitting the turbo button so you can get fast and furious with your business. So let's jump right into it, and we're going to start with how you assess the data. We have some great tools for doing this. This is a really crucial part of cleaning your data and making the best data quality. And what we focus on with these assessment tools, some of you might have been exposed to our App Exchange app tool, the data.com assessment app that works with Classic. And we've built a new tool that works with Lightning, and what the focus there is on matchability. And matchability is about making sure that your data can match to an external third-party source. This is a trusted, reliable source that validates and verifies your account data, shows that it's up to date, shows that it's accurate, shows that it's complete. What it also does is it prepares you, if your data can be matched to that third-party source, to be able to use data services that automate the cleaning and the enriching of your account data. So matchability is really crucial. Can your accounts be synced to a third-party source and be enriched and updated on an ongoing basis? So our data assessment that we released here in the summer release is a really awesome tool that looks at a lot of different things, looks at matchability, and gives you an overall score and then some really crucial details on your data health in terms of accounts for this initial data assessment release. We also have a really cool tab that's great for sharing with your business stakeholders. It shows basically your data breakout or your customer segmentation across your account data by industry, by geography, by employees, and by revenue. And what I'd love to do is be able to show you how that data assessment tool works and how you go about setting it up. So I've got my demo org here. Hopefully everyone can see this. And what we need to do first, as we're transitioning lots of things to Lightning, sometimes we have to work with setup in the classic interface. As we move everything over to Lightning over time, more of the setup options will be available there. For now, we're in the classic setup screen, and what we need to do is search for clean rules. So this is in the data.com assessment area. You'll see as I search clean, I can see the clean drop down, and I want to click on clean rules in the left-hand side. And you'll see that there's a company info for accounts rule. This is essentially a data service rule that can be activated to do that match process against my data and generate the assessment in Lightning. So all you have to do here is activate that clean rule, and you'll see a pop-up that has some information and has you agree to some terms of service that talk about us assessing your data, processing your data against a third party, and that some details that will take about 24 hours to complete. What we do is we process all this data nightly so that we're not overloading servers and causing any problems with anybody's production orgs. So I click that agree to the terms of service, hit OK, and then my data assessment will actually run that night. Luckily, I've activated that rule previously, so I have a data assessment I can show you. And there's a couple different ways that you can get to this data assessment. You can get to it in the app switcher up in the top right, and you can click on data assessment. But normally what you'd be doing is you'd be working in Lightning. So I'm going to switch to the Lightning experience. So you would come in the next morning, and you'd open up Lightning, log into Salesforce, and you would see this bell icon, this notification icon, would be turned blue, and it would show you that there's an alert there. Right now, I've already seen the notification, unfortunately, so it's not blue. But you would see the notification show up, and it would say, review your data assessment now, as you see there. So you would click on that, you would click the data assessment, and you would be taken to this screen that would show you the full breakout of your data assessment. You can also get to it in the app switcher in Lightning, but again, the notification is probably the first thing you'll have access to. So as you can see here, luckily my demo org has really awesome data. I have excellent data quality. For other demo purposes, that's important. So my accounts have matched at a really high rate. My matchability is high. My accuracy, which measures the difference between my data and the data.com database data, and if those fields are similar or different, my accuracy is moderate. So I've got some fields that are out of sync with the data.com database. And then uniqueness, which measures possibility of duplicates. I've got high uniqueness, so a low amount of duplicates. That's great. And then I've got some more details about matchability. So I have details on what's matched and up to date, what's matched and outdated or different than what's in the data.com database, and then I have details on what wasn't able to be matched. And when you look at this assessment, the key thing here is if these numbers aren't fantastic, don't stress, don't sound the alarm too much. There's very easy and simple steps that you can take to standardizing some of your data to improve the match rate. We have a lot of customers, one customer in particular that I talked to recently that started with a match rate of 2% at a recent company and has it upwards of 80% currently, and that only took a few months. So really really easy things that you can do, including standardizing and tweaking some of that data. So the other piece that kind of helps us with that is a field level readout of the assessment, and that's what's below. So I can see account site, which fields have a high percentage of blank fields, which fields are different and have data that's not in sync with the data.com database, and then some other field issues there for unmatched records. So that's the data assessment, the data quality information, and I mentioned the customer segmentation dashboard that's really great. So this has really awesome, really cool visual graphs that show you a breakdown of your account database, show you the top industries amongst your database, the geographies where everything's sort of distributed, employee counts and how that stacks up, and then revenue. And what's great about this is you can see, does this match my stakeholders' vision for the company? Are we focusing in a certain geographic area, in a certain industry area, or is there data that we need to go out and acquire because there's industries that we want to be working in that we don't have a good amount of data in? And then, of course, as you improve your match rate, as you enrich your data, as you improve the data quality, you'll see that industry breakout change, and you can run this data assessment often and figure out what the breakout is over time. So that is the data assessment, and really cool free tool available to everyone in English language locales, primarily for our first release. So that's primarily North America, US, and Canada, and available for all Sales Cloud customers just by turning on that clean rule. And we'll talk about some resources that can help you understand a little bit more about that assessment later on. So the next portion that I want to show you is getting rid of dupes. And this is a subject that's top of mind for a lot of different customers. We hear about it a lot. It's a top idea on the Idea Exchange, our features to add that address duplicates. And it's something that we've worked on at data.com as making a part of the Sales Cloud feature set and the experience. So when you think about addressing duplicates as a problem, number one, what you want to do is kind of clean your room, obviously. Detect all the dupes in your system and resolve them. And there's some third-party apps on the App Exchange that help do that. And it's something that we're looking to add to the Sales Cloud features in the future. Right now, what we do have available are duplicate management tools to prevent duplicates from entering the system, and that's a really key piece. So you don't want more, you kind of want to stop the bleeding, right? Don't let more duplicates and bad data get into the system. And our duplicate management tools, which were released a couple years ago and are available free to all Sales Cloud users, help you with alerts and blocking of duplicates. You can use custom matching rules, and the duplicate rules apply to accounts, contacts, leads, and custom objects. So across the objects that you deal with in Salesforce. Just to talk a little bit about vision and make sure that we did that forward-looking statement slide on purpose there. We want to tell you about some of the stuff that's coming on duplicates in the future. So in Winter 16, close to Dreamforce, and we'll be talking about this at Dreamforce, we're working on detect and merge for leads in Lightning. A great new feature that'll show you possible duplicates on the lead record and allow you to merge those leads with existing records and kind of resolve those dupes right within the system. And then in the future, we're looking to perfect and extend that feature to other objects like contacts, accounts, and person accounts, which is a big ask of a lot of our customers. And then looking further in the future, being able to do automated detect and merge against those records is something that we're looking into and working on. So duplicates are going to be destroyed in the future, and we're going to have a lot easier time managing them. So for now, I'd love to show you how duplicate management works. Some of you may have some experience with this, so this might be a review, but would love to show you how some of these rules work. So in order to do this, I go back to Salesforce Classic to go to the Setup screen, and I can search for dupes. Just got to put in dupe, and you'll see the duplicate management area in the setup menu. And there are two pieces to the duplicate management features. There are matching rules and duplicate rules. Matching rules basically tell you how to search or how to match duplicates in your system. What are the fields that I'm basing my duplicate detection on? And then the duplicate rules basically dictates what to do once a dupe is found. So I have to activate or choose each of those pieces to be able to enable duplicate management. So if I go to my matching rules, I can see that I have a few standard matching rules, a standard account, contact, and lead matching rule. You can see here I've also created a custom account rule, which is a fuzzy account name matching rule, and there's lots of configurations that you can make, lots of custom things you can do for your matching rule. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate the standard account matching rule. And I've done that. It'll be in process and send me an email. Usually happens right away. But then I'm going to go back to my dupe rules, the duplicate rules. And once I've activated a matching rule, I can go to my account dupe block rule, and I can edit and see all the rules and configurations that are available there. So I can name it uniquely, obviously. I can configure sharing rules. And one of the key things here is I can choose whether to allow duplicates and alert and report the system administrator, or I can block those completely from entering the system. For now, I'm going to have them as allow, and we determine that both on create and on edit to be able to dictate that. And then when it comes down to matching rules, I have the choice to choose either a custom rule that I created on my own or my standard account matching rule. We're going to stick with that standard rule for now. Then I can choose conditions that help kind of narrow in the use case for this duplicate management rule. Once I save this, I can then activate it, and that duplicate management will be in place. If I go back to Lightning, we can see that this duplicate management works in Lightning. Really cool interface, really seamless for how to kind of keep dupes out of the system. So if I go to my account homepage and I want to create a new account, and just for ease of demonstration here, I can see that I have Apple Inc. in the system already, so I'm going to try to create a new Apple Inc. and see what happens. So I create the name, I tab out of that field. It's got a search before create feature here that I'm going to bypass. Sometimes users do that. And I'm going to hit Cupertino because I know that's where Apple lives. Oh, and something has happened. I'm noticing I'm hitting California. And if I scroll back, I see that there's an error message on this create account screen. So it says you've found one potential duplicate. So I can click here. I can see that duplicate. I can see that I can actually just use the Apple Inc. account if that's the similar account or the same account that I'm trying to work in. Or even if I bypass that error message and try to save it, it will, again, alert me to a duplicate in the system. So instead of creating my account, I'm going to go to the Apple Inc. account, and I'm going to work in that account record directly. So that's how duplicate management works. Our customers have seen a lot of great results in eliminating duplicates from entering the system with those management rules, and it's been really useful. We're looking to extend those features in the future. So I want to talk really quickly about then the next step, the turbocharging of your account data quality, and this is where Data.com Clean comes into play. Data.com Clean is an add-on product to all Sales Cloud editions, and what it allows you to do is to automatically update and enrich your accounts with Dun & Bradstreet data. So Dun & Bradstreet is the gold standard globally in company information. And as you can see there, they offer over 100 account fields to be populated and added with a full D&B company object that gets linked and added to your account record. One of the real keys there is that DUNS number. If anyone's familiar there, that DUNS number helps you track and distinguish account entities from each other. Even if they have a similar name, they could be a unique business unit, a domestic headquarters, whether it's in a different country or not. They could be, linked by a corporate family, or they could be completely separate business units. They just have maybe Acme Co., as a similar name. It also helps you to see and build out your corporate linkages and corporate hierarchy in your system using the DUNS number to see related companies. And then one of the really cool features that we've released in the summer is the ability to enrich leads with company info in real time. So this is part of our new clean platform that's going to be working in real time instead of nightly jobs. This happens right as you save and right as you edit an account or lead or other object. These services enrich and clean and update that lead with company information and match it against the company so that you have that linkage from the lead to the company information. So that's data.com clean. You can talk to your account rep more about clean and learn more. We have resources available. But again, the three kind of steps that we've outlined here, assessing your data, getting a handle for the quality, then destroying dupes or getting rid of dupes from the system, and then enriching accounts with detailed information is really the three steps that we recommend. A couple of great free tools, and then the data.com clean service that you can look into. So with that, I think Leanne's going to show us a couple resources and wrap it up and take questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jim. And this is really exciting. I'm especially sure admins are really excited to get hands-on with that brand new data assessment tool in Lightning. So for everyone on the line, if you want to learn more about data quality management, make sure to check out the Data Quality Trailhead module, which will take you through the steps around defining your data management plan and how to manage that for your org. And definitely to learn more about the data assessment, the data.com clean, and duplicate alerts that Jim detailed in his presentation, the resource for that is salesforce.com/data/resources. And that's where you'll find everything related to those tools that Jim highlighted. So let's take a look at our questions. So Jim, one of the questions that we have is around access to that data assessment tool that you highlighted first. So who has access to that and how is that defined?
So yeah, by default, we make that access available for system administrators. And admins can give permission to view that data assessment to others via permission sets.
Awesome. So we do have customers that are already on data.com. What does that data assessment tool mean for them? Can they use it with data.com? What if they already have data.com?
Yeah, so right now, no, they can't use the Lightning data assessment. We do still have, and I mentioned the App Exchange app, we do still have that app functioning great in Classic. And a lot of our customers use that ongoing, even if they're data.com clean customers. They do a monthly assessment and they track the progress of their data going forward.
Great. So let's see if there's other questions. Were there any other questions that we saw from the group that we wanted to make sure to answer live here on the call? It looks like a lot of them were answered throughout the course of the webinar. So we had eager questions being asked that then were kind of answered throughout the course. So it looks like we're about ready to wrap up. We're at 10:30. Please, if you have questions, go to Salesforce Admins Webinars and ask those questions. We'll be continuing to answer any questions around data quality and data.com covered in this webinar there. And thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you, Jim, so much for highlighting how admins can manage their account data quality with data.com.